tricks that I do here with code so that I can construct a coupon using a table. Now this is tabular coupon construction. My idea here is this might go out in an email, but I'm going to show you a couple tricks that I'm going to work with. I've got my browser down here below. I've got Sublime up here. Now I would say you do this in CodePen. You'll probably get the exact same results. If not, we can troubleshoot those. But let's consider here that we've got a couple things going on. We've got an outside shell table that is not visible. Okay, that outside shell table, if I were to, let's say, add a border to it of 1 and save that and then refresh, you'll notice that I've got an outside shell table here. Okay, I use that border as a way to kind of, okay, where is that? And it helps me see it. I'm going to change it back to 0. I'm going to save and I'm going to refresh, and you notice it disappears. Okay, inside I use these comments. Remember, these are comments. I use these. They start with the bracket. They have an exclamation point. They have 2 dashes on either side of the bracket, and that gray text tells you what it is. You can be as descriptive as you want, and you can even put things in there that may give instructions. Hey, this is the place where you're going to change the image or the type size or something like that. Okay, so I've constructed my outer shell table. Here's the beginning of it. Here's the end of it. Then I have an inner table that is a dotted table that creates this dotted outline that you see down here. Okay, those dots are created by this, and I just threw a color in there and literally just came up with that color off the top of my head. But if you want to, you could just use something like red and save that and refresh, and you'll notice we have a red outline. You'll notice that I chose 2 pixels. That could be 5 pixels, and refresh. So now you see what I'm able to change. Okay, if you like, let's say I want this to have a rounded corner, border radius of, let's say, 8 pixels. Okay, or I could use my rim sizing, so 1 rem, and I save that. I come in, I refresh, and now we notice that it's got rounded corners. Okay, so it's doing all this. Inside of that table, I have yet another table. So remember, we're talking about nesting tables inside of tables inside of tables. A table, if it's going to be nested in another table, is nested inside the table division element, or the TD. Okay, a TD is nested inside of the table row, and then the table row is inside the table. There's some other things that we could use, but those are the ones that we are primarily going to work with. Okay, inside of our innermost table currently, and we may yet add more tables in future videos in this exercise. Okay, I have currently 2 columns. I've built coupons with 3 columns. I've built them with 4 columns. I've built them with stacked tables inside of places. We're not going to get much more complicated than this. We'll probably add one more table set to this, but we have currently 3 tables, and you notice that my structure, and I purposely added extra space here. I would encourage you to do the same, because HTML ignores the spaces. Okay, add those spaces, make it nice and clean. Create a table. So how would I go about doing that? If I created my initial table, I would, so I've cut that out. I just used Control X to remove it. Okay, and let's say that I've got this right here. Notice I've got this is aligned to centered. Then I would come in and I would just add a whole bunch of space here, and I'd kind of choose somewhere in the middle to add my next table. Okay, so that would be my next table. come in, I would add a bunch more space here, and then I would work there. Notice that when I do 2 columns, okay, when we have a TD beside another TD, that actually creates a left column and a right column, okay? You want to see what that looks like? Let's do this. Let's come in, let's change that TD to have a style of border, and we're going to say 1 pixel solid, and we'll make it a gray color. All right, we save that. When we refresh, now you see I've got 2 columns. It's hard to see there beside the word right, but there's a division there. If I were to add some cell spacing, let's say 4 to that, save and refresh, now you see the 2 columns somewhat separate. I undo that 4 and save, go back, and you notice they collapse back together. All right, so now we see where those columns are. Feel free to use these styles as ways to go, you know what, I can't see it, I don't know where it is. Throw a border style on something, or if anything, throw a border right here. Again, we could take this style off. I'm going to delete both of those, and I'm just going to add border is 1, hit save, and you'll notice it doesn't change. Our border of 1 up there shows us those borders. Okay, that's the basics of nesting a table inside of a table inside of another table. It's a dude playing another dude being another dude. That is tables nested for our first coupon exercise. Try this out. Give it a quick try. I'm going to provide you this outermost table, and if you want to, rewind and pause this video so you can see this code and copy it directly from the screen if you'd like. That's perfectly fine.